You get a wok and you put it on. I had the fire preheated already. So once your wok is heated a little bit, you put your oil. I'll normally prefer olive oil for those who are eating healthy. But if you don't have olive oil, whatever granite oil you have would do. So I don't use a lot of oil to cook, so you just put a little bit. I think that's just fine for me. A little bit of oil. And before this, I already blended my tomatoes with onions, pepper, and garlic. So I usually blend tomatoes, onions, pepper, and garlic together. So I'm gonna have to fry this. I don't boil my stew or my tomatoes, for the record. I fry it. So that could be why some of your stews taste differently. Give me 1 second. Okay, so basically I still have my peppers. These are my little red peppers, and that's onions as well. So you have peppers and onions already chopped up. I usually fry my stew with my peppers and onions chopped so I can see the little chunks in the stew. I don't like my stew all smooth, if you know what I mean. This is my chicken breast, so it's already spiced. I like the zesty garlicky taste, so I always spice my chicken with garlic. So basically this is like chicken breast cut into cubes with bell peppers. So there's a little bit of green, red, and there's curry, as you can see from the color. There's a bit of garlic powder. There's a bit of all-purpose seasoning as well, a little bit of Maggi and salt. I'm gonna fry this up with a little bit of pepper. I'm gonna add a little bit of my red peppers as well into this before I start. And I'm gonna add some onions when I'm frying that. So this is my bell peppers all chopped up in pieces. P.S. I said this has mushroom in it. So I don't know if you can see, it's all blended up, but look close, there's a bit of mushroom in there. So if you don't really like mushroom, there's one piece. I advise you just do yours without mushroom, okay? So let's go and in the wok, my oil's been fried up a little, so I'm just gonna add in my peppers, a bit of that in there. I'll just leave this bit to add to my chicken. So and then some of my onions as well. I'll just add everything because I can cut some more. So that's in the wok. And I'll get a spatula. So before I always fry my tomatoes, I always start with frying my peppers and my onions first, just to have a little bit of that chunky look inside your stew or your sauce when you're done. Okay, so that's fine. I suggest you fry it for like a minute to just about 2 minutes, depending on how hot your oil was before. But I'll just say 80 seconds will be just fine to 90 seconds. Okay, so that's frying up now. And then I'll just go in and pour in my tomato mix. So that's, like I said, it's tomatoes, peppers, onions, and garlic. Okay? So you put that in. Just think about when I cook, the smell already, even when everything is still a bit raw, it's just zesty and juicy and yummy. Okay, so just give that a little bit of a stir and you let it to fry. I would usually add a bit of salt and Maggi at this point. So when my tomato is dry and I taste it, it's not all sour. That's just it's too white. That's just a pinch of salt. As you can see, it's too bright. There you go. So just a little bit of salt. That's all right. And then I'll just go in and stir that a bit. And so add the Maggi in. Okay. And there you go. So we'll just leave that to fire up a little bit and I'll be back to this, okay? In the meantime, I'll just go back to my chicken. Okay, so back to my chicken mix. I haven't added any salt yet, so I'm just gonna go in and put a little bit of salt. You don't want to overdo this because your mixture is already a bit spiced, so it's better to add your spicing at the end of your cooking. This is a bit of jerk chicken or jerk seasoning. I like a bit of Jamaican flavor in my cooking, so sorry, my pepper is really hot. I'm gonna go ahead and add a bit of this. That's fine. Then I like a bit of juice to my meat. So you see there's the Nando's peri peri. This is lemon and herb. Just go ahead and put a little bit of that. That's okay. And then a little bit of very peri. So you see I added a little bit of pepper in every stage of what I'm doing. So clearly you can tell I'm a pepper freak. I love chili. Please, when you're doing yours, be careful with your chili. I advise you add more chili at the end of your cooking if you don't like a lot, so you can control the amount of chili that goes into your food. Okay? So I think my meat spicing is all ready. And I'm just gonna turn it. Come on, help me hold this thing. I'm just gonna go ahead and mix it all up. You can see all that flavor and juice in it. So like I said before, there's curry in this. There's some of my Maggi. There's all-purpose seasoning. There's my jerk spice now. And there's some of my Nando's juicy spice. There's a bit of red peppers. There's a bit of green garlic powder. And that, so I'm gonna fry this with a bit of onions as well. And I'll get back. Okay, so I'm just gonna add a bit of my onions and pepper as well, just very little into that. This is just to add a bit of chili and extra flavor into the... every time you cut pieces of onions and pepper into whatever you're frying, trust me, the taste is completely different from if you did it without it. So you can see how juicy that is looking. It always adds extra flavor to whatever you're making. Okay? So that's that. So I'm gonna fry this up with a little bit of my bell peppers and we'll be back. Now to fry the chicken, the wok is already on fire and I've put a bit of oil. So the oil has been preheated already. It's been on for just about 5 minutes. So now I'm gonna fry my chicken, okay? Like I keep saying, I don't cook with a lot of oil, so you try to avoid so much oil when you're cooking. So anyway, in goes the mixture. Let's squeeze all your juice in. There you go. So you're just gonna fry this on the heat, medium heat, for just say about 15 minutes or until your chicken is nicely browned. I'll show you what it looks like when it's done, okay? I'll be back. Okay, so the chicken is all fried up now. As you can see, the color has come out really well. Chicken is gone white, show you that it's cooked fully. So I'm just gonna add in my bell peppers. Mix it all up. Bell peppers are not supposed to be fried for too long, so that's why you add this towards the end. Once I mix this up I'll leave it for about 2 to 3 minutes. And then this is my tomato. As you can see, tomato is almost all fried up. How do you know this? For those who don't really cook as much, look closely. The tomato starts to separate from the oil, so you can tell that, you know, it's cooked. If not, it would have all been blended up. You can see that. And this is a different look of stew than when you actually boil your tomatoes. So I'm just going to leave this a bit, stir fry my meat and my bell peppers, and then I'll mix it all up. So give me a minute and I'll be right back. Okay, so the peppers has already been all fried up with my chicken. You can see how yummy this is. I mean, for some of you that are on a diet or, you know, trying to eat healthier, this I usually eat as a meal. I usually have this as a meal on its own. So, I mean, just dish it. You can add, normally when I do this as a meal, I add some cabbage. I stir fry some of my cabbage or broccoli into my mix, and that's a meal. It's extremely filling and very healthy because, as you can see, just a teaspoon or 2 of olive oil, chickens, and peppers. That's all, peppers. So you can add your cabbage or your broccoli or your cauliflower, and that's a meal. Alternatively, if you want to make a sauce, this is just a base for your sauce, and at this point you add it into your tomatoes, which we will do right now. So hold on. So here's my tomato sauce. The tomato is already fried up, so I'm just gonna add my my mix into it little by little, little by little. There we go. And it's all going in there nicely. So there you go. That's your base being mixed up with your tomato sauce, and you know, your stew is pretty much almost ready because everything is cooked. You're just pretty much mixing it all up. Can you smell that? So at this point, basically what you need to do is you just taste to see if your salt is okay, your peppers are okay, and if it's just fine for you, then you know it's fine. If it's not, then you add up your spices just to avoid it being too salty or too or less or not as salty. So I'm just going to go ahead and taste to see if my spices are okay. I don't eat hot food, so I have to blow. I think it's just fine. It's oh my gosh, it's a bit chilly, which I love and I wanted. I mean, the secret of cooking for people in your house who eat too much is to put a lot of chili. That way people would not eat that much, okay? And your food gets to last for days. So if you made a big pot, put a little bit of chili. People will have just the right amount and your food can last. That's my secret. But if you want to make everyone happy, let's. Bon appetit. So the meal is ready. Doesn't this look so sumptuous? That's basmati rice and chicken mushroom sauce. Yum.